always feel like when you do that and you're nervous to like respond and you're worried that the person's going to be like, oh, I can't hear you, and do it again. So I won't do that. But it's really great to be here tonight. So thank you for having me, and thank you guys for coming. Next slide. Today I have an agenda. I'm going to introduce Germono Advertising Company, what we do, who we are, why we do it, the problems that we fix, the future, and then I'm going to ask you guys for your help. So I will probably speak for about 7 minutes and then leave the remaining because I need feedback. So clarity, feedback, insights, and suggestions. So what we do at Germono Advertising Company, our mission is to provide business owners with peace of mind and alleviate the stress of planning and managing advertising on their own. So as an ad agency, we just try to clarify that, clear up some of the muddy waters because it can be very overwhelming. So there are really two different types of divisions of the agency. The first one is the traditional media, which is television, print, radio, and outdoor. Let's see, name a business. Anyone? Say
Zara?
Okay, so say Zara wants to advertise on the radio. What they would do is contact the local radio stations, get rates, negotiate that, get the commercial produced, get it running on air, manage the on-air campaign, and then when the month closes and the invoices come, they reconcile those invoices. So as you can imagine, Zara, if they're very busy, some of those things that they've purchased might get unaddressed. So for example, if they purchase a commercial to air from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. and the commercial actually airs at 9 or 1 p.m., they might not catch that, but as an ad agency, we go through and reconcile that, and then we make sure that that company delivers that commercial in the right time frame. So a lot of businesses that can handle that internally, you know, they can lose sight of that stuff. So that's really that first pillar of our agency. And then the second is we strategize social media using a consultative and educational approach. And we like to do that because at the end of the day, it doesn't benefit us to really manage it all for the business owner because the business owner needs to know what's going on with their marketing and advertising. So we educate them, we show them how to use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you know, all of that stuff. And of course we can help do that for them like on a monthly basis if they'd like. But oftentimes they'll have us come in and work with, you know, their new marketing director who's going to be doing that stuff. So we kind of come in as a consultant and assist in those capacities. So who we are, this is my staff, and I'm very proud of this because a year ago it was just this girl. But now, oh, and he was there too, but I didn't pay him. So I started paying him, so he's happy. She is one of my longtime friends from college. She was actually one of my media reps, and I used to work with her prior to opening up my agency. So I'm very proud of this because, as you guys know, when you start hiring, now you are a boss and you're not doing all the stuff yourself. So what I wanted to make sure was when we were hiring that every single person had experience in both the traditional stuff, so the print, radio, TV, and outdoor, as well as the digital, so social media, digital advertising, because we get a lot of questions about both. And to have somebody that didn't know one way or the other, it would backfire on us. Next slide. So why we do what we do. Okay, have you guys seen the show Mad Men?
No.
Anyone? Raise a hand. Okay. So Mad Men is based on this very antiquated model of advertising agencies, very male-oriented or male-dominated, I should say, which in my experience, because before I opened an agency, I was in media, they tend to focus on larger scale businesses. So your Geico's, your Town Banks, your Bank of America's, you know, the big players, because they have money to advertise. And as an agency, they make a percentage of that. It's very much like a real estate agent, where a real estate agent makes money off of the sale of a house. So that's kind of the model of your older agencies. But what I noticed is that not a lot of agencies were focused on smaller businesses. You have silos or organizations, of course, like Hatch, who are focusing on, trying to help those small businesses. But in this market, I didn't really see that there was an agency that was helping small businesses, get there. We'll go back. So why we do what we do is because we know that advertising agencies are modeled a certain way and we're not. So it kind of is our differentiator or our competitive. What separates us or our competition is still really in that model. And also we do what we do because we know that small businesses need help. So we're really driven by that and passionate about that. And I have had mentors and business owners and other business owners that say, you should really be focusing on getting medium and large size businesses, but that kind of goes against what we really want to do, which is help with small businesses. So they're like, from a revenue generation standpoint, you could be missing out on money. Sure, I could, but that's not why I started the agency. So that's hard, and that, as you guys can imagine, one thing is that you have to have money to run a business, and my mortgage company likes money. I can't pay them in smiles. So I'll get back to that in a second. Next slide. The problems we fix is our clients are trying to navigate advertising and marketing on their own, and so we see them doing something and we're like, hey, we can help you do this either more efficiently, more effectively, giving them some ideas and really kind of help them through that channel. We also, like I mentioned before, want to educate them so they can do that. So that's kind of the difference between us and some of your local agencies, is they want to bring on clients for 12 months, for years, keep managing their buys. And our thing is, well, what if we can help equip them with the knowledge to do that? And so that way the business owner knows what's going on in the marketing, advertising. So I guess 7 years ago or something, when I was in TV sales, I would often ask a business owner, oh, how's that working for you? And they would go, I don't know. And so I was really worried that, and I'm also a business owner, I want to know what's working for me as well. And then we know, especially now, it's 2017, that marketing and advertising can be really noisy. So we want to simplify that for your smaller businesses. They don't have huge ad budgets. They don't have $100,000 a year to spend, in Google AdWords and etc. So what we want to do is try and clear through that clutter, minimize the noise, help that specific business owner with whatever their challenges are, and go through that way. And this is a non-staged picture of Tracy is the owner of Twisted Sisters Cupcakes. Try saying that 3 times. Twisted Sisters Cupcakes. And we did a workshop, and she had asked me a question about Instagram. And this is a real picture of her giving me a thumbs up because I was coaching her through how to do the issue that she was, or how to process through the issue that she was experiencing on Instagram. And I love this picture because this is why we do what we do. So I have this as like one of my desktop screensavers, because if I get really like, oh, we need to focus on all these other things, I go, no, because the Tracys of Hampton Roads need us to answer those questions. Next slide. So the future and where I need your input, if you guys don't mind. As we grow, because we're still, even though we're 3 years in, we're still small enough where I can adapt quickly, and we've done that. So we've had people suggest, oh, you should have a podcast. I did it. We have a podcast. You should offer marketing or workshops. We now have workshops. So we're small enough where I can shift and not have it disrupt the business too much. But we want to know, how can we help small business owners? What marketing and advertising frustrations do they face, so we can add on those services into our agency by way of a workshop or tailoring, one-on-one sessions with our clients. So that is my, yes.
I got a question.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to grab a pen, because if you guys give me,
All right.
Are you recording this? Nice.
All right, so for small, now that everybody's a small business owner, since everybody can drive Uber, have you ever thought about putting advertisements or making Uber drivers pay, like putting advertisement in Ubers?
So placing other people's, advertise my business in
Or
Uber?
other people's business and figure out
That
what
I'm not.
I don't think Uber allows that.
You know?
Yeah.
Like a sticker on their car or coupons
inside.
that they can give to people if they're dropping them off at a restaurant maybe.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Okay. Yes, sir.
As a small business owner, how do you determine how much you're going to charge them?
So I did a lot of market research on this. Number one, I looked at our qualifications. So we're not just a marketing guru, and I feel like that is thrown out in social media a lot. You have these one man or one woman shops, and they're running this stuff, and you're like, yeah, but where are your clients? So like,
Right.
we actually have clients. I have an MBA. I have 10 plus years of experience in traditional media advertising. So when I factor all that in, that's how we price we do it hourly, so that's how we price it. Now anybody can go down the street and get an intern, but are they going to understand the impact that traditional media can have in PR, getting exposure, getting printed, doing stuff like this, you know? So, so I studied what the market was charging as well as our expertise.
May I ask one more?
Yes, absolutely.
Very, very quickly.
Yeah.
If, let's say I was to do business with you, would you
I
be
hope
the
you
one?
do.
Would you be the one that would keep track of, say, the hits that are coming to me and how many, the traffic that's coming to me based on our relationship? Would you be keeping up with those?
So it depends on the expectations that we set in our initial meeting.
Okay.
You tell me, Lindsay, I just need help strategizing LinkedIn. We're going to do that by hour, and however many hours that you sign up to consult with us is how we would do that.
Okay.
Now, if you have us as an agency full time, where every month we're together, we're managing your feeds and stuff for you, then yes, we will provide the analytics and give you that data. We do not build websites. We do not. We're not Google ad. We don't do Google AdWords
Right.
because we believe in more organic results. Don't purchase followers and likes and things like that,
Right.
because that's going to skew your analytics, right? If you buy, what's on Instagram, people do these things where, and I shared it today, you could pay for likes and followers, but if you're a barbecue restaurant in Norfolk, Virginia, and 80% of those are in like Alabama or another country, that's going to skew all your stuff up. So you could be going down the rabbit hole of a wrong demographic because you're chasing what the analytics show. You know, focus on the ones that are in your backyard.
Right.
I hope I answered your question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes, sir.
I just had a quick question.
Yeah.
Do you have any relationships prior that you would leverage to give more value to people? Like you talked about being in the TV industry. So do you have connections that can get discounted rates or some type of value versus the business owner picking up the phone and getting the same rates you could get but him paying you hourly to do it?
So this is a fun one. As an ad agency, most traditional media outlets will discount a rate 15%. It's usually the, going rate, I guess, for that. There are some entities that don't do that anymore. Print doesn't do it, and I don't think outdoor does it so much anymore. So the advantage or the value of having an ad agency is our knowledge, and then we also negotiate in a lot of other extras. So instead of just buying a radio campaign and your commercial's airing, we go, okay, no, we want exposure on Facebook. We want you to come and do an on-site remote. So we do that because it's just going to make the client more successful. But the client doesn't get that 15% back. We absorb that as our fee for
Okay.
doing the work.
Well, good answer. Thank you.
Yes.
Kind of going off of that, as a small business owner, sometimes it's a trade-off of what you should do yourself and what you shouldn't do yourself. So I would be interested to hear how you might be able to help people decide that. If you're working with small business owners, maybe there are things that are good for them to try. Maybe at certain points it behooves them to bring in somebody like you. So I don't know if you have to answer that now, but that's always something that I struggle with as a small business owner. Like, when should I cut myself out of this process?
So there's a book, and it's the E-Myth Revisited or something like that, and I'm like halfway through it. And when you're the business owner, you're the entrepreneur, the manager, and the person who's performing the work, right? So eventually you're going to have to task out stuff. And we like to get in there right before you do, because there might be some stuff that we can help you with before you start paying somebody else. On the agency side, when we're actually managing media for a client, we actually prefer to get in there after they've had some months or years of doing that on their own, because they know how much it's not a hard sale for us. They know it's a headache, so they're like, yes, take it, like, be my guest. So it depends, I guess, on which line, but it's we get in there whenever, really. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
question slash maybe suggestion. Earlier, you clearly are passionate in helping smaller companies, so thank you for that. It's a great focus, obviously. You mentioned earlier that a lot of small businesses don't have the budget that big companies do to go after services like yours. Are you or have you considered segmenting your team and going at, you got one team going after those whales, right, to capture the revenue? So their focus is there, so that way you can suppress costs to smaller businesses and go after volume in that segment.
Mhm.
I don't know what your revenue model is, but question slash suggestion.
Yeah, so that is something I would love to work towards as we start growing and hiring. Certainly have your big fish, lead generation focused or business generation, or I don't know how to say that, but yeah, your larger accounts, focusing on getting those. So yeah, that's definitely in our silo as we start hiring. Hold on, there was one up here.
How would you help, something like an online business? How would you go about that?
So online is still going to be really important to take advantage of. Press releases, because you now can use that as shareable content. So to be featured in Forbes Online, because you've submitted an article, now you have content that helps bring up validity in your business. So yeah, it's even more important to have somebody to help you kind of strategize how to get that exposure, because you don't have a brick and mortar where you can do fancy signs and free coffees and things like that. Yes.
Yeah, what has been one of your biggest wins so far in your business?
Hiring.
Yeah.
I was
doing it yourself.
I'm a control freak, so
Yeah.
as some business owners are. So hiring, and I should have done it sooner.
Yeah.
We could have gotten a lot further than we are now if I were able to do that. So, yes, sir.
I was wondering, you were saying how you started doing podcasts and workshops. How else do you advertise yourself to?
This stuff. We do a lot of stuff on social media. So I kind of feel like if we didn't, then we gotta walk the walk. No one's gonna hire us if we're doing a really crappy job of advertising ourselves. So we have a strategy. Everybody on my team, I actually paid a lawyer to help me develop a social media strategy for all my employees, because I can't just have them going up and posting whatever on their social media and backfiring on the name that I've created, for our agency. So we do a lot of work out there, and I didn't mention this either, but my employees are remote, so we don't come into an office from 9 to 5. We meet virtually. I have an employee in Florida. I had one in Colorado, Virginia.
Colorado.
Any other questions? No?
Great job.
Well, if you guys think of any and you after you
Good stuff.
sleeping at night and you're like, oh, Lindsay should do this, please email me. I'm really open to
How do we get in
suggestions.
touch with you?
You can actually go to Germono Advertising Company. You can just type in germono.com. Also, I have business cards I can do. So, thank you, everybody.